The coroner's office confirming that 22-year-old Georgia nursing student Laken Riley died from blunt force trauma to the head. Her suspected killer illegally entered the U.S. Look at that. And just months ago was charged with child endangerment here in New York. Our next guest says this senseless violence is what kept him up at night working for DHS. America First Legal VP, we have Gene Hamilton, who joins us now. Good morning to you, Gene.
Good morning.
Good morning. What keeps you up at night? What do you mean by that?
Look, this is the exact type of scenario that I would worry about, which is how do we ensure that someone who should not be here in the first place doesn't commit a crime against an American citizen? How many American citizens die every day at the hands of somebody who shouldn't be here? This case is the perfect example of such a scenario where there were failures everywhere along the line. And instead of having someone deported immediately, we have an American citizen who has lost her life. All of her promise and potential is gone because of our country's commitment under the Biden administration to this open borders ideology.
So I know you worked under Donald Trump's administration. You were the former senior counselor to the secretary at DHS. So y'all put all these policies into place. Donald Trump came into office. He was committed to building that wall, making sure our country stayed safe. We were all worried we saw what happened on 9/11. We're all worried that could happen again. What were your thoughts when you saw Joe Biden on day one get rid of so many of these protections for Americans?
Look, it was tragic to watch because we all know what the outcome would be. And it would be this type of situation, this type of scenario that happens all the time. Look, there is a failure to grasp reality in the Biden administration. They think that you can just have these open borders. They think that you can get anyone coming across the border illegally that you want, and that, quite frankly, it will all work itself out. And the reality is that you can't. We're not like the movie Minority Report. We don't know who's going to commit a crime and who's not. And so the best thing that we can possibly do is we can prevent people who aren't supposed to be here in the first place from coming into the country illegally and committing crimes and murdering American citizens.
You know, Gene, you hear this young lady's story. It's so sad. Every parent who sends their kids to college, they pray over their child that nothing like this will happen. But listen to this number. 6,400 migrants with criminal pasts were apprehended in 2024, in this fiscal year so far. And we're not even halfway through, probably. Let's see, October, November, December, January, February. We're not even halfway through.
Right. Look, here's another thing about that. That number is small because we don't know everything about these folks from their home countries. And so with 6,400 right now, the reality is it's probably 2 to 3 or 4 times larger than that because we don't know all of the crimes committed in Venezuela by these people. We don't know all the crimes committed in other countries by these folks. And so instead of, again, deporting this person immediately when he was apprehended, instead of detaining him until the outcome of his court proceedings, instead of picking him up after he committed additional illegal offenses in the United States, we lead to a situation where someone who obviously has proclivities towards crime is allowed to murder an American citizen, a college student on the campus of the University of Georgia, which is where I graduated from. This is not what we want in this country. This is not what the American people should tolerate.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry for your campus, for UGA, for the people of Georgia, and for her family. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.